The newly manufactured Phoenix Ghost drone will surely need to live up to its name as the war in Ukraine enters its third month. The new US Ghost drone to destroy Russia, which some analysts say was specifically built for Ukraine, will help address a crucial flaw in Ukraine's trench region. Welcome to Drone Zone, the channel that brings you the latest, most exciting news and info about drones. In today's video, we talk about the latest solution presented by the US to Ukraine to counter the advancing Russian forces. So make sure to stay till the end of the video to know how the US and Ukraine plan to use centuries-old technologies to halt Russian advancements. Vice President Joe Biden announced on Thursday that the United States will provide an additional $800 million in military assistance to Ukraine. This brings the total amount of US assistance to Ukraine since Russia's invasion to approximately $3.4 billion. According to a Pentagon readout, the US will contribute 120 of the Ghost drones, as well as 72 155mm howitzers and 72 tactical vehicles to transport those weapons. According to John Kirby, a Department of Defense spokesman, the drones are built for tactical operations, which means they are intended to attack targets primarily, but not exclusively. The Air Force began developing these drones prior to Russia's incursion. It too has optics, as do the vast majority of other unmanned aerial systems. As a result, it's still capable of and may be used to provide you with a visual representation of what is seen. However, its primary focus is on assault. The drones were designed for a set of requirements that very nearly match what the Ukrainians need right now, but they'll require a little bit of training. The Ghost drones resemble the Switchblade drones that the US has previously sent to Ukraine as part of military packages and educated their military personnel on. Initially, the Pentagon claimed that the Phoenix Ghost was created in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine on February 24th. Kirby, on the other hand, clarified the development, stating that the Phoenix Ghost was created before Russia's invasion. The current conflict in Ukraine started on February 24th, but Russia and separatists backed by Russia have been occupying parts of the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine since 2014. Ukrainian soldiers had previously fought in another war for 8 years. Although it's unlikely that a new drone ordered by the Air Force was designed specifically for the terrain of Donbas, the conflict in Donbas was planned to justify the development of new capabilities and weapons. Both the Air Force, which had requested the system, and Avex Aerospace, which developed the Phoenix Ghost, appear to have been taken aback by the Department of Defense's public announcement of the drone. Reporters attempted to contact Avex on the day of the announcement, but the company did not have a prepared public statement. Furthermore, as of April 26th, there were no news announcements about the drone on the company's social media profiles or website. There is a frightening lack of information about the Phoenix Ghost. The Pentagon described it as a one-way drone that'll send a punch, adding that anyone who has previously been trained on a Switchblade or other drone system would find it simple to use. Kirby has told the press that the Switchblade and the Phoenix Ghost have different purposes, despite the fact that the Phoenix Ghost has the same abilities as the Switchblade. According to Kirby's comments to the media, for classification reasons, I'm going into more detail about the system at this time. However, you can reasonably conclude that it works in general. It has the same tactical capability as a Switchblade, he explained. Switchblade can be thought of as a one-way drone, and it's clear that it is designed to deliver a punch. It's a tactical unmanned aerial system similar to the Phoenix Ghost, which belongs in the same category. If the Phoenix Ghost retains the tube-launched shape of a Switchblade, it'll most likely offer the same level of versatility as a weapon that can be mounted on vehicles or carried into battle by soldiers. This adaptability will allow the Phoenix Ghost to live up to its full potential as a versatile weapon. Switchblades are launched from tubes and can be guided or assigned to a target by a remote control station, allowing the weapon to fly and explode like a missile, capable of making turns. It's possible that the Switchblade's capabilities could be enhanced by increasing its range, explosive payload, or flying time. Any of these features could help the drone locate and destroy opposing soldiers or vehicles. Also, a subscribe could help us become more successful and make more high-quality content. Fighting Russian tanks and artillery in entrenched positions, such as those dug in Ukrainian territory, will necessitate the Ukrainian military foregoing advantages that defined its early war effort, such as maneuvering out of the way of incoming tank columns before ambushing those same columns at night. This will necessitate the Ukrainian military giving up the advantages that characterized its early war effort. While it is believed that Phoenix Ghost design predates the invasion and coincidentally matched the conditions of the war, the Pentagon is currently inquiring with weapon manufacturers to determine whether or not they have anything else that could be useful to deliver to the front lines of the conflict. In addition to the Ghost drones, there are 18 155mm howitzers and 72 cannons, all of which were recently reported. As the conflict with Russia enters its third month, a senior US Department of Defense stated that the howitzers on their way to Ukraine will have a major impact on the firepower of the Ukrainian armed forces. According to a senior American defense official, the US has begun training more than 50 Ukrainian military personnel on the howitzers provided by the US. A howitzer is a short cannon positioned at a steep angle of descent and used to fire projectiles at relatively high trajectories. The cannons can fire up to 4 rounds per minute, according to information provided by the United States Army. Cannons of a similar design were used by the Czechs in the 15th century. They were known at the time as Kufnis cannons. These weapons can be traced back to that time period. Since World War I, these types of artillery have been referred to as howitzers. The Pentagon has remained silent on the location of the training. According to a Pentagon spokesperson, John Kirby, the training will take place outside of Ukraine. Following that, the Ukrainian soldiers will return to Ukraine to instruct other soldiers. According to the official's explanation, training of a limited number of Ukrainians on howitzers has begun. It'll happen somewhere other than Ukraine. I'm not going to tell you where this is happening or give you any specifics, but it has happened. Furthermore, we anticipate that the training will last approximately 1 week, and this is training for those who will train others. There are a fair number of Ukrainians, slightly more than 50. The United States included 40,000 rounds of ammunition in its most recent shipment of military aid packages to Ukraine. According to the official, the howitzers rounds have arrived in Europe and will be shipped to Ukraine in the coming days. Kirby also acknowledged on Thursday that training for the howitzers had begun, but the training for the Ghost drones had not yet begun. The current focus of Russia's military campaign in Ukraine is the Donbas region in the country's east, as well as Mariupol, a port city on the coast of the Sea of Azov in the country's southeast. If Russian forces successfully retake Mariupol, which they have already encircled, they will have a land bridge connecting Crimea, which they annexed in 2014, and the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine, where their military operation is currently focused. This would enable them to link Crimea to the Donbas region. The fact that the terrain in the Donbas has influenced the weapons that the US has decided to deliver. We can expect the Russians to rely on long-range fire, particularly artillery, Kirby continued, explaining that the Pentagon observed Russian troops moving in artillery units before traditional infantry units. We expect the Russians to rely on long-range fire in the Donbas because of the terrain, because it's open, because it's flat, because it's not as urbanized. As a result of our understanding of the terrain, topography, and Russian strategy in this region, we concluded, and more importantly, the Ukrainians believe, that they required additional artillery firepower. That's it for today's video. Let me know if you think the Phoenix Ghost will actually help Ukraine, or will Russia have an answer like it did till now? I hope you've enjoyed watching this video just like I've enjoyed making it, and make sure to comment with any future videos that you're interested in watching. I'll be seeing you all soon, but until then, watch this video to learn more about the Terminator drones used by the Ukrainian military. And as always, subscribe or crash.